Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us for our webcast today. Before we get started, I just want to go over a few housekeeping items. All attendees have been muted. If you have a question or any technical issues, feel free to type them in the chat or question box. All questions will be addressed at the end of the presentation. This webcast is being recorded, just so you know, and will be posted to our website. So today we have our webcast, the Microsoft Cloud for professional services firms. Dave Wallen and Robbie Morrison from SBS Group will lead the webcast. So now I'll turn the presentation over to Dave.
Thanks, Chris. And welcome, everybody. As Chris said, my name is Dave Wallen. And Chris, you got to advance the slide.
There you go.
All right. As Chris said, my name is Dave Wallen. I'm the Marketing Director of SBS Group. With me today is Robbie Morrison. In his role as Chief Solution Strategist, Robbie functions as our Chief Technology Officer and Chief Technology Evangelist. His background makes him uniquely suited to discuss this topic. He's run and managed professional services businesses and PSO organizations. He's managed implementations of ERP systems for companies in the industry, as well as leading development of Axio for Professional Services, which is a software solution based on Dynamics 365. So why don't you say hi to everybody, Robbie, so they can recognize your voice?
Hi, everyone, and thank you for attending.
Yeah, so I don't think anyone will have any trouble telling our voices apart. The next slide. So for those of you who don't know us, SBS Group is one of North America's largest Microsoft solution providers. With over 40 locations across North America and development center in India, we've got resources to support you whenever and wherever you need them. Professional services and project-based businesses are a major area for us. We've got over 600 active customers in those industries. So next slide on the agenda. So what we're going to really talk about here is first why the largest global firms invest in platform technology versus best-of-breed point solutions, why and how cloud technology has really changed the market for a platform solution, industry trends that are driving the case for a cloud-based platform solution. We'll look at the elements of the Microsoft Cloud, top reasons why the Microsoft Cloud is the right platform for professional services firms and project-based businesses, and then we'll look at some PSA options, professional service automation options within the platform. So next slide. Professional services firms and project-based businesses invest in technology to improve employee productivity, streamline operations, improve sales, marketing, customer engagement, and get better insights into the business. Most organizations have invested in a series of point solutions addressing different areas of need and whatever was pressing at the time. But the largest and most successful companies go beyond point solutions by creating a unified platform, either through extensive integration of best-of-breed technologies or through standardizations on a technology platform like Oracle or SAP. And until recently, the cost and complexity of implementing this kind of solution was beyond the reach of all but the largest global organizations. But with the introduction of Microsoft's Dynamics 365, joining Microsoft Azure, Microsoft Power BI, and Office 365 in the cloud, really any size professional services firm now can leverage these services to deploy a truly unified platform solution that can provide that functionality for every business function and employee role in the organization. Next slide. So traditionally, enterprises achieved technology automation through the implementation of ERP or enterprise resource planning, which is basically an expanded effort to standardize record keeping to permit information sharing among different areas of the organization with the idea of managing the business more effectively and efficiently. A successful ERP implementation formalizes and integrates business processes across the organization, leveraging a single integrated information system platform. In the manufacturing sector, ERP is the be-all, end-all of business technology, but professional services firms and project-based businesses have significant technology needs beyond the back office. The customer focus of these kinds of firms and the fluid nature of services businesses makes CRM, or customer relationship management, an equally important part of the technology equation. So TechTarget defines CRM very nicely: the practices, strategies, and technologies that companies use to manage and analyze customer interaction and data throughout the customer lifecycle with the goal of improving business relationships with customers, assisting customer retention, and driving sales growth. So really they're designed to compile information on customers across different channels or points of contact between the customer and the organization. Websites, telephone interactions, chats, mail, marketing materials, social media, and transactions. CRM systems can give customer-facing staff really detailed information on customers' personal information, their purchase history, their buying preferences and concerns. So, basically where ERP puts the product at the center of the interaction, CRM focuses on the customer. In many professional services industries, the output of the enterprise information workers represents the product that the customers are paying for, and as such, technology is designed to drive higher levels of individual and team productivity, as well as those quality of the deliverables, are often considered a higher investment priority than system technologies. So to drive these kinds of improvements, businesses are typically investing in solutions like productivity suites, like Microsoft Office, communication and mobility solutions, document management systems, and remote conferencing, and other kinds of collaboration tools. Finally, organizations are trying to strive for better visibility and actionable insight into operations and customer activities to improve how they do business. Business intelligence or BI solutions are technology-driven processes for analyzing data and presenting concrete, up-to-date information to help decision makers, whether those be executives, line business managers, or the end users at the point of the customer, to make more informed business decisions. BI encompasses a wide variety of tools, applications, and methodologies that enable organizations to collect data from internal systems, from external sources, prepare for analysis, develop and run queries against that data, create reports, dashboards, or whatever visualizations are needed to make that data available. Next slide. And the vision of the enterprise solution providers, both product-focused companies like Oracle and SAP, and the global systems integrators like IBM and Accenture, is to provide their customers with this integrated technology platform, but they can run their businesses from end to end. So, the upside is both long-term and short-term. Short-term is where the ROI really is, and it's improved operational efficiencies, improved use of capital, better customer service, enhanced decision-making capabilities. But long-term, really, this is where you get the platform versus the point solution. Is the benefits is owners are rewarded by enabling them to continuously transform their business in ways to turn that vision into reality, and it really improves the organization's agility and ability to change as business changes. So to realize these kind of advances, you've got to integrate some key things. So this slide illustrates these at a high level. The main thing, as we said before, it's really about business processes across the enterprise, the organization, integrated, formalized, and automated to drive more efficiency. And then it's about information, so real-time information available within and across business functions. Best deployment of your human capital and your inventory if materials are part of the project or service. Accurate and detailed insight into costs, insight into customer and supplier history, so you can provide rapid response to changing customer requirements. And again, then kind of that long-term key is that flexible and adaptable information system architecture to enable the system to scale and adapt as business changes.
And to just add to that, you really look at the platform as a way of breaking down the silos that build up over time in an organization. If you think of a silo of a customer service team where they know how to manage their little piece of the pie, but really don't understand what's going on maybe out in the field in the projects that's going on in the field. Really, a platform allows for the sharing of the information and really breaking down the use cases between those different job functions. To really allow the organization to be, as the last bullet here or the last box says, really be flexible and adaptable and use the resources in the best way to service the customers.
Great. Next slide, yeah. So the high costs of the traditional platform solutions like SAP and Oracle are driven by large capital investment requirements and ongoing expenses. They really require costly upfront licensing and complex infrastructure to run the software and manage ongoing secure access. And the recurring costs of software and hardware maintenance are significant as well. In addition, the IT organizations have to retain a team with specialized training and proprietary skills and resources to keep the systems running. Cloud computing really allows for those capabilities, unifying the teams, decentralizing information without that expensive infrastructure up front. There's different definitions and different ways of doing it, and the acronyms of SaaS or software as a service, PaaS or platform as a service, and IaaS or infrastructure as a service is there. But because of the short-term impact and really the minimal support requirements, software as a service or SaaS is the most popular model for all but the largest firms. The SaaS approach eliminates the need for upfront purchase of software as well as infrastructure. There's actually a recent survey by ITSMO, which is the Information Technology Service Marketing Association, where 74% of the respondents indicated they were using SaaS offerings today for office and productivity applications, and most likely Office 365, 66% for email and communications, same there, 50% for financials, and 45% for customer relationship management. So, what cloud computing really does is turn the platform equation upside down. By eliminating the need for companies to invest in and maintain that complex infrastructure to support their systems, you can focus on the applications themselves and really reduce the costs of being able to go in this direction. So the benefits are many, but they're all about making the cloud vision an affordable reality. Costs, as we said, cloud computing eliminates the capital expense of buying hardware, software, setting up and running on-site data centers, racks of servers, round-the-clock electricity, power backups, teams of experts to manage that infrastructure. Additionally, since we're talking about a Microsoft solution, Microsoft has very flexible licensing and subscription models that allow for more granular procurement and assignment of access levels, which will optimize your IT investment.
Yeah.
Speed. No, you got some, Harvey?
Yeah, I was just going to say, and if you really think about it from a statement or a place of the past of how it took a long time to go out and really deploy the servers to support the new business applications and and have month-long, sometimes year-long projects to get those applications up and running. The cloud benefits from the speed that it provides of being able to turn around on a dime and provide the business users with what they're expecting and what they need to be effective is really a major benefit of the cloud. And the ROI you see from that speed is just tremendous. And there's a lot of other bullet points. The organizational agility, when you're investing in those large those large on-premise implementations and spending hundreds of thousands of dollars sometimes on hardware and then on your hosting costs, you just don't have the ability to change and decide, well, hey, that didn't work for me, I need to go to something else. But with a cloud solution, you're able to try it, make sure it works for a small group of your employees, and then expand it into the other areas. Or if something better comes along, or there's a new technology that should be rolled out into this platform, then you're able to do that very quickly.
Yeah, and to add with that, when you're dealing with infrastructure and infrastructure planning, especially around core business systems, you can predict and budget, but those plans don't really align with what is actually needed by the business over the life. Talk about a 3 or 5 year investment in infrastructure, it changes. The volatility of markets, the changes in technology, IT infrastructure needs are really becoming less and less predictable, and cloud computing gives you that ability to have on-demand self-service and just enormous elasticity. So you can acquire and deploy technology, you can employ infrastructure when you need it, or then turn it off when you don't need it. And as business changes, you're able to not only have more flexible IT infrastructure, but you're more flexible financially to deal with those kinds of changes. some of the other things that we jumped over. I think a big one there is mobility. Cloud computing by definition is designed for anywhere access, and the applications and services are going to be architected and designed for remote and mobile access. So that really simplifies the secure delivery of these services to mobile employees.
Yeah, and of course we skipped over the reliability too. With the cloud benefits, we get, a lot of the benefits of the cloud come in the reliability. You don't have a single data closet or a single external hosting vendor now that if they go down, your entire IT infrastructure goes down. You're able to geographically disperse this over hardware that the cloud vendors have in multiple locations, multiple nations, and really have uptime that was just unheard of 5-10 years ago.
And so let's look at some industry trends. The changing landscape of the industry has really created a number of drivers that make the case for a cloud-based platform solution. One, obvious is the increase in international business. Increase in global trade provides new opportunities for a lot of professional business firms, and U.S. professional service firms can draw both customers and staff from markets where labor and operational costs are lower, and deliver them where they need to be delivered. We're seeing more multi-service firms, where larger firms are offering a range of services to corporate customers that can include related offerings, advertising and marketing, architecture and engineering, or management and IT consulting services. So, firms can bundle services to offer one-stop shopping, and that's going to involve entities that are distinct for legal or regulatory reasons, but their work is going to need to be closely coordinated. Much more work online. I don't think this is a revelation to anybody, but more and more professional services firms are handling so much of their engagements online. Often you're just meeting the customer face-to-face for business analysis and some training or some major milestones, but performing the majority of the actual service engagement online and off-site. Professional service firms have always needed to support the work activities of employees working away from the office, whether at the customer locations or otherwise remotely on behalf of clients. But today, more and more employees have no home or branch office presence. They work entirely remotely, whether either they're on the road or in their home offices.
Yep. There are some other things that we maybe didn't get on the slide that we're seeing these things, at least one big one. We're seeing in the industry really trending towards more and more use of subcontractors and 1099 workers. This is both because a lot of the engagement's able to be done online and through those remote workforce and the modularization of the projects, but also because it really helps them to decrease their bench costs while providing specialized skill sets that maybe their team doesn't have and that projects don't require all the time. So that increase of those subcontracted and part-time workers is really increasing.
Another one there, the technology adopters, especially as we're talking about this new generation of workers. The professional service sector tends to be tech savvy as firms and staffers want to leverage the more advanced technologies they use as consumers themselves to improve their work productivity.
Right.
Yep. Well, Robbie, since you're the industry expert, I'm gonna let you take the next slide.
All right, great. Thanks, Dave. So, project-based businesses, really need a full enterprise application suite that provides the end-to-end business processes on the projects as the final deliverable to the customers. Project-based businesses require some, unique things in their business. They require resource optimization to ensure the right resource is available at the proper time and that the resources are utilized to near capacity. The proper skill set must be matched with each of the project tasks and project schedules. The ability to forecast the demand on the project pipeline is critical to the business and a significant factor in ensuring profitability and in developing a repeat business. Those project-based businesses must attract, retain, and develop the human capital to meet but not exceed the demand of their customers. So right sizing of their resources is paramount. They must also optimize their project execution and delivery as they succeed or fail based on the ability to manage projects effectively and deliver the work on time and under budget. They must estimate the projects accurately during the proposal phase and then budget and schedule the projects in a way that meets the delivery dates and profit goals established for the projects. There are varying levels of project complexity depending on the segments we're talking about. For example, management consulting firms may have small teams that are focused on delivering business optimization recommendations where the deliverable is a presentation to the customer's executive team, while an architectural firm may have some large internal and external teams working on complex projects where the deliverable is an intricate business building design. This can illustrate some of the flexibility that project-based businesses require in their delivery tools and delivery models. Project-based businesses must also optimize their project portfolio to effectively forecast and manage the business. To accomplish this, the managers need visibility into more than the details of a single project. They must manage their pipeline, resources, and materials across all the active and future projects. Providing this visibility across all the key performance indicators of the company's entire business in real time, which in turn provides the information to make sound business decisions. As in all businesses, profit optimization is key, but in project-based businesses, profit is highly dependent on the intersection of optimizing the resources, collecting and managing intellectual property to make sure that the future projects are delivered more repeatable, and focusing the sales team on developing business opportunities that play to the company's bench strength while continually monitoring and optimizing the individual project profitability. Contract management, compliance, and revenue recognition automation are also supremely important. In most cases, the delivery of a service organizations are intangibles and may be difficult to describe and define in exact and quantifiable terms. Therefore, the creation of binding contracts and the delivery of services as contracted are an ongoing challenge. It can be difficult for potential customers to understand what they're supposed to receive and what value it will hold for them. Additionally, some of the service providers, such as consultants and providers of investment services, offer no guarantee on the value of the services delivered for the price that the customer will pay. It means a proper contract management framework should align the organization's efforts so as to ensure that the service expectations are clearly described, tracked, and delivered. Within these project-based markets, there's a number of companies that do business with the federal government. Companies that execute government contracts incur significant government-specific regulatory and accounting scrutiny. The accounting practices of these companies are governed by rules of the federal acquisition regulations and the cost accounting standards. These accounting practices are reviewed in nearly all cases through government audits performed by the Defense Contract Audit Agency. Therefore, these companies are required that do business with the federal government are required and must implement practices and systems that support compliancy with the regulations. And these companies must also adhere to the national and international accounting standards. In just the last few years, the standards boards have instituted new guidelines for revenue recognition in the form of the ASC 606 and the IFRS 15 standards, which governs how companies should recognize their revenue. Also important is optimizing the issue resolution. Logging, tracking, resolving key project issues, as well as communicating that information to the clients are an important part of maintaining a good and ongoing relationship. Generating repeat business with existing clients is often key to increasing profitability, as new customer acquisition costs are almost always much higher than developing ongoing businesses at the existing clients. And then document management and knowledge management is key for the business providing those professional services, as they rely heavily on the knowledge of each of the individual employees as well as the corporate's group knowledge. Each project has to be properly and systematically documented and stored in a central knowledge base that the employee who has been granted access is able to obtain and view so that they can provide the necessary information and knowledge for the projects they're placed on. Finally, and definitely not last, is the analytics and reporting, the tools to gain insight into the state of the services the company at any given time. Report data reflects the structure of the company and its projects. For example, the WBS becomes a source of project data, but when coupled with the resource cost and billing information, it can instantaneously provide a true picture of the health of the business, while dashboards provide executives with current and actionable information to run their business. Next slide.
Thanks, Robbie.
Thanks.
So what do we mean when we say the Microsoft Cloud for Business? Microsoft is a leader in cloud solutions for consumers and companies. So, for the many markets it serves, it's got a lot of solutions. So we're going to define the Microsoft Cloud for Business, and Chris, you could pop them all up here. The Microsoft Cloud for Business as the services that are focused directly on enabling organizations to manage their business operations and serve their customers. So the first piece is Microsoft Azure. Microsoft Azure is Microsoft's public cloud computing platform. So it provides a range of cloud services for computing and analytics, storage, and networking. And you pick and choose from these services, develop and scale new applications or run existing applications in the public cloud. Azure is widely considered to be both a platform as a service, or PaaS, and infrastructure as a service offering. They've got capabilities of both. And I like to think of Azure as the Microsoft Windows Server in the sky. Is that a good analogy, Robbie?
Yeah, that's definitely one way to think of it, although it's growing much beyond that. It's no longer just what you used to be able to run on premise. It's so much more.
Yep. So while some of the largest professional services may want to leverage those infrastructure or platform as a service capabilities, the majority are looking for the simplicity and benefits of the Microsoft SaaS solutions, Office 365, Power BI, and Dynamics 365. Office 365, I think everybody knows, combines the familiar Office desktop suite with cloud-based versions of Microsoft's communications and collaboration services. So your Exchange Online, SharePoint Online, Microsoft Skype for Business Online, and now there's a lot of web-based versions of Office so that people can work even without the desktop tools. Microsoft Power BI is a cloud-based analytics service that enables anyone to really visualize, analyze data with greater speed, efficiency, and understanding, and it connects users to a broad range of data through dashboards, interactive reports, and other really compelling visualizations to bring that data to life. Dynamics 365, is really what unifies and what's made the platform, story available. So it unifies enterprise resource planning, or ERP, with CRM, customer relationship management, into one SaaS service with special apps to manage all the core business functions, and we'll look at that in the next slide. Dynamics 365 features a flexible, extensible platform, and it uses a common data model with deep integration to Office 365 to seamlessly connect the business apps with the collaboration and productivity tools. Dynamics 365 also includes really powerful built-in BI and analytics capabilities based on Power BI, all working together. What you see down at the bottom of the Microsoft App Source, this is the application services of Microsoft represent this platform and core business functionality idea. But capabilities to support more specialized functions and personalization of the platform to meet individual business requirements is done through a combination of solution configuration and the implementation of approved third-party solutions, and those are available through Microsoft AppSource. So AppSource solutions really must undergo a rigorous approval process that guarantees quality and also compatibility with the platform itself. So as Microsoft continually updates Dynamics 365 and Office 365, AppSource apps have to be architected in a way that they will continue to function. Did I get that right, Robbie?
You absolutely got it right, but I just put an asterisk at the end of the rigorous approval process. And apps that you find on AppSource are really first class. We went through the approval process for 2 of our solutions, and we've got a 3rd one in the works. It'll be up in a short period of time, and I can tell you that it's not an easy chore to go through all of the different requirements to get your app up there.
Okay, so next slide, let's take a close look at Dynamics 365. So as we said, Microsoft introduced Dynamics 365. made this concept of a platform solution on the Microsoft Cloud a reality. So, the way Microsoft puts it, data has become the new currency, and organizations create and have access to more of it and faster than ever before. And the challenge is how to transform it into intelligence that generates action and drives outcomes. So, Dynamics 365 allows organizations to adopt these individual apps, and we'll look at those. But as organizations adopt more of these apps, the synergies are unleashed in the form of intelligent business processes that cross the apps. And this helps guide employees and customers to generate optimal outcomes. And as we said, everything is delivered in a SaaS model and with very flexible pricing options to fit every organization. Did I overview that right, Ronnie?
I think you did a great job. We've been deep in this world for a while now, and I know you and I and a bunch of other people in our organization have been, in getting fully engulfed in it. I think you did a good job covering it. I'd just add that, this is really exciting. This is one platform. It's not, you should look at it as a solution, not a lot of disparate applications, because that common data model and the way that everything is architected and designed for the rollout to the customer utilizing a common user interface. This is really a single application that flows all the way from the ISV solutions to the end customer experience.
So we've broken out some of the individual apps. So there's 2 editions. The Enterprise Edition, which is really targeted at companies with 100 or more employees, or has more complex requirements that require the different apps that are part of the Enterprise version. Business Edition targeted more at the SMB market. So within Enterprise, you've got sales capability, which was the sales capability of the old Microsoft Dynamics CRM Online. The brand new marketing module, and marketing is actually from Adobe's Marketing Cloud, so it's a really strong enterprise class marketing solution. Dynamics 365 Enterprise Operations, and Operations was previously Dynamics AX, so it is in of itself an enterprise class cloud-based ERP solution. The Field Service module, again, was part of the CRM platform previously. The Customer Service module and Services module, really for ongoing customer service and customer self-service and management of cases. Dynamics 365 Enterprise Project Service Automation is also a new app, and we'll be looking at that a little more. For the Business Edition, Business Edition Financials, which is the back office solution for the SMB and business edition size. And then coming soon will be Dynamics Business Edition Sales and Marketing. These are going to be will have less capabilities in the enterprise version, but will be packaged in a way that requires less configuration and is more really ready to go when it's launched. So we're looking forward to seeing more about that. Next slide. And what's really cool about the licensing model here, it's very aligned with the whole concept of cloud computing, supporting that idea of organizational agility. So Microsoft licensing is, the Dynamics is predominantly user-based, and there's 2 kinds of users: light users and full users. So when you think of a light light user, someone who just runs reports or completes light tasks like time and expense reporting or creates accounts or contacts, would be a light user. Full users would leverage the majority of the functionality. Think of a sales rep or a customer service agent that's constantly in the application, or finance manager or finance person who's in that business application every day. And they can be purchased 2 ways. So there's that, that simple apps where you just, hey, all I want is ERP, or all I want is sales capability, and I'm going to buy that. But this plan-based, where you can buy a single user license that covers multiple functionality, and Microsoft is really trying to get people to adopt this platform concept. So in fact, if you were to buy any 2 individual apps, it would be cheaper for you to buy one of the plans and get everything, get that user to be into everything and get all of that functionality. So it's a new way of licensing. Next slide. So can I bring it down, like, why Microsoft? Why is this the way to go? And as we said, until recently, the cost and complexity of implementing this kind of platform solution was beyond the reach, and the cloud made this possible. The platform provides the same end-to-end process support and all the capabilities that professional organizations need to thrive that are part of those expensive legacy platform solutions like Oracle and SAP. It's a true SaaS solution, so it provides all of those technical and business and cost-saving benefits that you want from a true cloud solutions. And then there are some, benefits that are kind of unique to the Microsoft platform. First is simplified security and user administration. So all of these services and apps leverage the same security and licensing model. So that really reduces the complexity of access management, of data security, and making sure that you're in licensing compliance. In terms of privacy, and unlike some alternative cloud solutions, Microsoft is primarily in the business of providing software and technology and services to individual businesses. They have a consumer and advertising related business, but that's completely separate. Microsoft's privacy rules, are such that when you entrust your data to Microsoft, you remain the sole owner of that data. And you return the rights, title, and all interest in the data that's stored with Microsoft, and it's their policy. They will not mine that data for advertising purposes or use your data except for the purposes that you want it to be provided for. And we know that there are other cloud providers who are in different businesses. A big one here, and I know Robbie will probably want to talk a little bit about it, is the interoperability and the native integration. Because the apps and services of Office 365, Dynamics 365, and Power BI are all designed to seamlessly connect and work together. So that enables that high degree of data integration and cross-application workflow without complex and expensive integration efforts. But Robbie really loves the common data model.
Yeah, and it's really, when you think about the common data model and where this is and going, is there's not an interoperability. It is it's native. Everything you put into, to say, your sales side is automatically part of your operations side, and anything that you might be doing in one of your applications, even a custom application that you build through Power Apps and stored that data in the common data model, it just automatically is part of your operations or your sales or your marketing tool set. So you don't have to worry about copying data from multiple locations and getting it into one database and replicating it to another. The common data model allows for you to store it once and access it in multiple locations. It's really a slick platform. Just since I'm talking, I'll continue too. And that, as Dave said earlier, he likes to think of Azure as the Microsoft Windows server in the cloud. That's part of the people think of it that way, and Dave thinks of it that way because it really is familiar, and it's really the way that the IT and the infrastructure team have used their systems for a long time. You can go and start using Microsoft cloud solutions, utilizing some of the same management tools you've used for years, and it just it makes that a seamless transition. But when you transition to the cloud, you always have the latest version. Just like with Office 365, you don't have to worry about upgrading from Office 2010 or whatever version to the newest version. You've just always got the latest and greatest functionality that's been tested and shown to work across the organization.
Great, and I think that pretty much covers it. So next slide. As we said, all platforms need some level of configuration to meet vertical and company specific requirements, and in the case of Microsoft, it's crucial to this are the third-party solutions in AppSource. So since project accounting and project management functionality are going to be core to everyone out there in these industries, we're going to overview 3 options for professional services automation functionality that are available for the platform. So the first up is going to be Progressus. Progressus is based on Dynamics 365 Business Edition Financials. Again, it's for small and medium businesses that need robust project accounting. So I think, Chris, you can load that up.
Hi, and thanks for taking the time to learn about Progressus software. Progressus is the premier project software for the Dynamics market, designed specifically for the professional services automation industry. Progressus has a long history of project and professional services experience, with more than a 25-year history with Microsoft Dynamics in one form or another. Microsoft sees us as the project people for Dynamics. Progressus is a very flexible system, giving you the ability to configure your system the way you do business and giving you the information you need to manage your projects easily with accurate, real-time information. Progressus provides all the capabilities needed to manage professional services and project-based businesses, including things like resource management, project management, mobility, time and expense processing, budgeting and financial management, and more, to give you insight and control of all of your critical business functions. Built on the Microsoft Dynamics platform, Progressus is both your accounting and your project management system. As Progressus is so flexible and configurable, you'll have a host of options available. For the purposes of our time together here, let's take a look at Progressus software from your project manager's point of view. When the project manager logs in, the first thing they see is their specific role center. This is extremely configurable and enables your project manager to put their most important items and priorities front and center where they can easily track and manage. For this particular project manager, they chose to keep an eye on several things. Things like a pipeline and sales ribbon, which shows invoices both approved and pending, and can also show them invoice suggestions. Timesheets, both periods that are open and closed, vacation periods and more, expenses, and a host of other things. On the right side, you'll also have the ability to track your own projects in one screen, and the convenient stoplight indicators give you an idea of the health of the project at a glance. You also have the ability to put charts on your home screen so that same glance can give you an idea of the things that you want to track. When our project manager is assigned a new project, the first thing they'll have to do is set it up. Progressus software gives you configurable options that begin at project setup. From the down and dirty, quick and simple project setup, where you can set up and configure a new project in under a minute, to the complex and detail-driven project with hundreds of tasks, milestone, and resource requirements. Progressus software makes it easy for you. For both of these, Progressus software offers you templates and wizards, where you can easily create a set of requirements as a base for projects, yet still gives you the opportunity to fully configure the template for this one particular project or multiple projects as needed. It's with the help of templates that users can quickly create new projects in seconds and still maintain the integrity of complex projects as needed. Progressus helps you work the way you want to work. Now that my project is created, who's going to work on it? Progressus offers resource management and cost tracking to help keep your projects and resources active and accountable. Progressus enables you to track not only the individual resources or even resource groups, think teams and crews, as well as the capacity of those resources with their skill sets. With all of that information at your fingertips, now you can manage both your projects and your people effectively. Budgeting can be tied to resources as well, with an unlimited number of budget revisions available. You can copy and export budgets, and with a full budget matrix display, you can do budgeting at the level you need. Progressus offers multiple budgeting options for setting, changing, and tracking project budgets with easy-to-read stoplight indicators as your budget and project progress. Other key points in any project are billing and invoicing, and time and expense. When the project ends or at milestones you determine within the project, Progressus gives you multiple and flexible billing options for your client invoices. Progressus also allows your project manager to look at various resource charges and suggest invoicing options to them to help make invoicing quick, easy, and accurate. With Progressus Mobile Time, Expense, and Approval, you can enter time and expenses against your project from the field in real time and track inventory and work in progress against the projects as well. From time entry to final approval on a laptop, tablet, or mobile phone, your people are not tied to their desks, but can be out in the field working in the project with full information at their fingertips. And of course, Progressus provides complete analytics and reporting with forecasting, KPIs, and dashboards to make critical information quickly accessible in easy-to-read stoplight formats. Designed as an end-to-end accounting and project management platform, Progressus Software is Microsoft's offering for the professional service organizations in the mid-market for both accounting and project management, with easy configuration and wizards to help guide you through the project. Mobile-enabled to any device, on-premise or in the cloud, Progressus Software can help you create, track, and manage projects from the initial call all the way to the financial reports. To learn more about Progressus Software, visit progressussoftware.com or simply contact your partner, the SBS Group. Progressus Software, professional services automation, mobile-enabled, and architected for the intelligent cloud.
Great. So with the demo of the Progressus software, we're going to move on. Next, coming up, Chris, you can go forward a couple of slides, I believe.
Yep.
So next up, we're going to show the Dynamics 365 Project Service Automation, or PSA as we call it. This is the toolkit that's built on top of the old, what used to be called the CRM code base. It's really built for the organization that needs the opportunity in project management, resource management, all of the traditional things from a PSA standpoint, but already has an accounting solution that they're happy with and not looking to replace. This solution does tie in through the common data model to the operations and the finance system that's available, but it also can be a standalone without a financial backend. So with that, we'll play the demo.
Hello, welcome to the Microsoft Dynamics 365 Professional Service Automation Module Overview. My name is Matt Bronstein, and I'll be taking you through a high-level demonstration of some of the features and functionalities of this particular module. The PSA module sits within the family of Dynamics 365 modules, which include the sales, service, and field service modules, and it's worth noting that there is crossover functionality between those modules. For instance, if you want to create quotes based off of project line items, you can do so. If you want to share resources between who you send out for work orders in the field service module and who you assign out to projects in the PSA module, you can do so. What we're looking at right here is the main dashboard of the PSA module. It's worth noting that this is the practice management dashboard. There's a number of dashboards that come with the application, and also you can create your own or customize any existing ones to your needs. So if you would like to include other metrics that you do not see here, you can do so. The Dynamics 365 also includes a very robust automation engine that runs behind the scenes. So if you want to automate tasks in the system, you can do so. So that could include basic notification tasks, such as alert somebody when something happens in the system, or you can actually automate functionality within the system, have the system do X when Y happens in the system. The main bit of functionality of the PSA module is, of course, the project itself. What we're looking at right here is the work breakdown structure of the project, which includes a Gantt chart of each of the tasks. Each of the tasks are broken out, and you can go multiple levels deep. And it does include the hours estimates, the start and end dates, the overall duration, the assigned roles. So if you want to assign generic resources initially to the project, you can do so. Or if you want to name your resources, you can do that as well. The work breakdown structure also integrates with the Microsoft Project application. So if you want to create this in Microsoft Project locally and then upload that project directly into PSA, you can do so. And the same is true if you want to download this particular project in Microsoft Project, you can do that as well. The work breakdown structure can also be created via templates. So if you do the same types of projects every once in a while, then you can create a template. Includes the tasks and generic resources, and then you have a starting point to create your individual projects as necessary. Now, I said before that you can assign roles to the projects themselves, and that's great if you have a resource manager that is ultimately responsible for assigning resources to the projects itself. Basically, if I am a resource manager, I do have what's called the schedule board available to me. This gives me a at-a-glance view of what everybody is working on in either a hour, a day, a week, or a month view. So I can see who has some bandwidth and who is overloaded, and everything in between. Also, you basically can feed a criteria to find the appropriate resources that make sense, and you can see which skills and which roles that each of these resources are currently assigned. Okay. Now, when you do so, you can basically highlight and then create and ultimately book these resources directly from this view itself, and this will add those tasks to the resources schedule. Now, as a resource, I have the ability to not only see the information that is on the project itself, but I have the ability to track time on a project. What we're looking at here is a basic timesheet. You'll note that on Monday, I was on vacation. On Tuesday, I booked a few hours on this project, okay? I can very easily come in here and say, show me either the projects that I'm assigned to, or show me all projects if I have the ability to see that. And then each task, and again, I can show all tasks, but I can limit it to what I'm assigned to. The role in which I am performing that task. So it's important to note that when you set up your resources and you set up your projects, you can have different rates per role. Okay, so if you do have a rate card, you can certainly set that up. And then as a resource, as I choose the role that I performed on this particular task, that will obviously change the rates. Internal comments and external comments you can add as you wish, and then you can save this. Now, from here, I can go ahead and submit this time card, and basically what will happen is this will appear on all of the project managers' queues that they can then go in and approve or disapprove that time, or kick it back to the resource for them to make changes and that sort of thing. Now, once I'm approved, then that's going to make its way into the invoicing functionality, which basically allows you to do some customer billing. And then from there you can review and overwrite all of the job costs and generate and approve and distribute customer invoices in email and on the web using the portal technology that's also available for Dynamics 365. Okay. That is the basic overview of the Professional Services Automation module. Thank you very much for your time today, and have a good day.
So while Chris is getting up the next slide and video, I'll tell you what's coming up. Finally, we have our Axio solution. It's built on top of, it's Axio for Professional Services, which is built on top of Dynamics 365 for Operations. This is the full enterprise solution, has all of the project accounting, anything that you could need from inventory to wireless warehousing if you happen to have assets that need to be tracked against projects. So this is the final solution we'll be showing today. And this solution the demo takes a little bit longer than the time we have left, so hopefully you can all stick around. Thank you.
Hello everyone, thank you for joining us in this webinar today. My name is Sandeep Chaudhary. I work as a Senior Solutions Architect for the Dynamics team here at SPS Group. Today in this quick demonstration of Axio ProServe solutions for Dynamics 365 for Operations, we will take a quick look at some of the key features and functionalities that are designed for the professional services firms that can help them manage the end-to-end life cycle of their projects, as well as their contracts, advanced contracts and revenue management aspect. So with that said, what I'm going to do is I'll jump into some of those key features and try to demonstrate some of them. So project lifecycle management begins with setting up a project. So setting up a project should be really easy for your team. In Axio ProServe or Dynamics 365 for Operations, setting up a new project is really easy. So if you're using the project quotations functionality of Dynamics 365 for Operations, what you can really do is once you have your quotation submitted and sent to the customer and that has been confirmed by them, you can utilize the automatic transfer of quotations data into the project. There is an automatic wizard for that. So what that really helps you do is once you transfer this quotation data to project following the prompts on the wizard, it will automatically be able to create your new project contract behind the scenes, and automatically set up your project work breakdown structure, project plan, and your project forecast, item requirements, and more. So setting up a new project from directly a project quotation is seamless and easy. But if you're not using the project quotation features, also if you're directly creating projects in Dynamics 365, that's also pretty easy. So if I'm on the project screen here, if I have to create a new project, the screen is pretty simple. All I need to do is tell the system what type of project I'm going to create. Is it a time and material or a fixed price project? Let's say in this case a fixed price project, and then I can give it a name, and then all I have to do is select a project group so that I'm classifying my projects as I want. And then I need to select a project contract, which means which customer this project is for. And then if I want, I can select a project contract if I know, project manager, if I know that at this point of time, and I can also give an estimated start of the project, and that's it. Once I'm done with that, I say click create project here, and that will create the project record for me. So creating and setting up projects is seamless and very easy. Now with that said, what I'm going to do is I'll use one of the projects that I've already set up in this environment in this demo data to save some time in this demonstration. So let me go ahead and open up this project that I've set up. So as you can see, I am on the project details screen, and I have various data that is shown to me on this screen. In this specific case, what I'm going to do is, I as a project manager, I'm trying to build the project team. As you can see here on the project team and scheduling tab, I have the project team pretty much built here. So I have a few team members that I need. I need a software developer, a project manager, and a couple of business analysts. So the next obvious step for me is to be able to go and find who in this organization, who are the resources, who are the best fit for these roles. So if I go to fulfill resources here, what system is able to do for me is it is automatically able to look across all entities of this organization. It can be Contoso Consulting USA, Contoso France, or any other entity that I have legal entity in. It can go look the resources from all those entities, and it finds them based on their skill set, availability, efficiency, and the appropriate role. So based on that, it is able to show me all the resources here. And not only that, it also shows me if they are reserved and if they are not available with nice color coding indicators, so that I can easily distinguish if someone is available, if someone is not available. And then similarly, if you can see here, Catherine, who's a software developer, seems to be overbooked, and then I have Allison, who seems to be also reserved. So in this case, what I'm going to do is, so notice here that system is able to filter and find resources from across all the entities. In this case, it's finding the resources from the Contoso Consulting USA, but it's also finding the resources from Contoso France, which means it is able to go across entities and find intercompany resources for you. Now, once I find a resource and I see that I can deploy them on this project, I can quickly hover over the name and see additional information about them. As you can see, as Barbara, who is a consultant from or software developer from Contoso France here, I can see their worker ID, I can see what their cost price is, where they work, and more. And if I have to initiate a quick action with Barbara using Skype for Business, maybe a Skype for Business call or email or a meeting or a chat, I can do that all right from this screen. So in this case, just to complete the demo scenario, what I'll do is I'll select Barbara's record here, and I'll assign her to this project so that we can go see how Barbara can then do a time and expense on this project, and then that can be automatically taken all the way through invoicing. So I go ahead and select Barbara and click assign here to assign her to this project. So system will go and book Barbara on this project. So it's not only that. So apart from this, Dynamics 365 for Operations provides you other central screens to be efficiently manage project resources. For example, you can go to the project management and accounting, and you have a complete list of your project resources at one central location. So you can pick and choose any resource. You can see information about them, what their cost price is, what the sales price is, what projects they are assigned to, and you can do any sort of actions that you need to do typically with project resource management. You also have a central resource availability dashboard that really shows you all the resources that you have in your organizations, and then it shows you their availability, if they're reserved, if they're partially available, if they're overbooked, so that you have a complete visibility of who is working on what and who's available to be deployed on a given project. So for example, if I select Adam's record here, I can see that he's working on one of the projects here, and I can see also the duration that he's working on this project and for how many hours he's reserved. And it's not only this, if you want to be able to filter resources based on specific competencies like a specific skill or a certificate or a project experience or even tests, I can do that all here. All I need to do is select a specific criteria and select some of the skills, and if I click OK, system is going to automatically filter all the resources that matches this criteria, and it will only show me a filtered list. Okay, you also have a resource fulfillment dashboard that will help you go across across all the organizations and see what resource requests are pending for your action, so that you can go fulfill them. Now with that said, we looked at how we can find and deploy resources in project. What I'm going to do now is I assigned Barbara to this project. So let's now go ahead and see how Barbara, who is a consultant from Contoso France, can go to the employee self-service portal, which is she's logged in here as the employee self-service portal. So from here she can do an intercompany timesheet. I mean, if she is working on a project of Contoso France, she can do the timesheets inside Contoso France, but Dynamics 365 for Operations is powerful enough to enable you your resources to report time on intercompany projects as well. So let's go ahead and create a new timesheet in this case. Let's say this is for the week of 2nd January, and I go ahead and click OK. Then you see that once Barbara starts building the timesheet lines, she can report time on the project that we deployed in the Contoso US entity. So she selects that entity, and as soon as she does that, she will see the project that we deployed on her. So we deployed her on this project, so she can select that, and then if she is working on a specific task for the project, she can select that as well. And then obviously a specific category of work she's working on. In this case, let's say she's working on consulting, and then she can report her time on every day. So let's say she worked 8 hours each on each of these days, and she obviously can enter comments for her work. So worked on-site meetings, can be anything. Now once she's done with the timesheets, she can obviously attach documents if she has to any, and when she's all done, she can submit the timesheet into the workflow. Now there are other features also that she can utilize. She can copy timesheet from her favorites, or she can copy from her assignments and more. She has multiple options here. In this case, she will go ahead and submit the timesheet. Click submit. Now from here on, whoever is the reporting manager or whoever is set up in the workflow to be reviewing the timesheet, they will get a notification, and they can go into their portal, and then they can take action on the timesheet. So once the timesheet is approved in Contoso France, then an intercompany invoice can automatically be created. Once that is done, those timesheet transactions of Barbara will be automatically available in Contoso USA, so that they can bill to the end customer. For the purpose of this demo, I'm not able to show you that because of the lack of time. Now, what we saw is a very simple scenario and a specific feature that I wanted to talk about. But you think of any feature that you need to manage the end-to-end lifecycle of a project. Maybe setting up project budget, project forecast, having advanced control over your cost in the project, or even setting up a good project plan, which is a breakdown structure, and then setting up cost estimates, keeping track of them, and all those things you can do in Dynamics 365 for Operations. Now, in the Axio ProServe solution, not only that, you get a lot more actually. So we have add-on solution called Contract and Revenue Management that we have invested much of our time on. So what this module allows you to do is it really enables you to manage your advanced contracts and revenue management in a seamless way. So let me change entities quickly here so that I can show you some meaningful data. So as soon as I change the entity and I navigated to my contracts and revenue management workspace, you see that I have a filtered list of all my contracts data. So I can see that I have 2 contracts that are in the pre-contract stage, which is under negotiation with the customer. I have 9 contracts that are in effect. I have 6 contracts which are pending adjustment, or we call it as realignment. And how many contracts? I have 8 of them pending renewal. So basically, I get in this workspace, I get a filtered list of actionable data that I can use to navigate to them quickly and take any action on. If I scroll further to the right on this workspace, system Axio shows me the summary of all my contracts by contract types. In this case, you see that it shows me the details of all the subscription-based fixed price contracts. So it tells me what is the total contract value, what has been billed till date, how much revenue has been recognized, what is remaining to be billed, and what revenue is remaining to be recognized. And so with that, I have a 360-degree view of my contract. Staying within this workspace, I can see what is going on within this contract, both in terms of contract status, contract progress, as well as the contract revenue and billing. Staying within the workspace, I can also take actions, like I can run the revenue recognition of the contract, I can initiate a contractual adjustment, or even I can create an invoice, or even if I want, I can go see the revenue recognition history on a specific contract. I also have some of the quick links here to navigate and see some contract related data and setup if I want to. With that said, let's now go ahead and take a look at the basic setup of a layout of a contract and what you can do with this module basically. So if I want, I can go from this tile, but just to show you the contract and revenue management module, there is another way to navigate to that. So if I come here, I see the contract and revenue management module here, and I can navigate to my contract screen, which is my main contract screen, which really enables you to see the layout of all your contracts. As you can see here, I have a contract that has 3 line items, and these line items are basically different types of services that you offer in a contract, bundled contract. It can be hardware, it can be software services, it can be maintenance contracts, it can be subscription-based fixed price or long-term engagement-based projects, and all the different types of contracts and services that you can think of. You can bundle them in contracts, and apart from that, it provides you various advanced functionalities, like you can set up advanced billing policies, and you can split the billing between multiple parties if you have to. You can do that sort of things. And then you can set up contract renewal policies, which is when the contract is pending renewal, Axio has all the business logic inbuilt that can help you create your renewed contract and renewed contractual data automatically when it is time. And staying within this contract, you can keep track of your key information, like how the contract is billed, what is the billing cycle. It gives you multiple options like monthly, quarterly, biannual, annual. It also gives you flexibility on billing cycle, like if you want to bill upfront or if you want to bill in arrears, you can set that up. Apart from that, if you want manual adjustments on your revenue recognition activities, you can set that up here and do much more on this. Now, with that, I think that's the high-level overview of Axio ProServe solution. I know 10 minutes was not enough to show all the features and functionality. Obviously, if anyone has questions, please feel free to reach out to us, and we'll be glad to answer. Thank you.
Well, thanks, Dave and Robbie, for presenting us today. A lot of valuable information for those who attended. So if you have any questions about the presentation, you can feel free to contact us at info@sbsgroupusa.com, or you can always find more information on our website, which is www.sbsgroupusa.com. So thanks everyone for joining us again, and have a great rest of your day.